At the edge of Umeus, where the great Oji River crooned lullabies to the trees and swallowed secrets with her tides, a calabash floated gently on the water. It drifted past water lilies, past fishermen who blinked and rubbed their eyes, past women fetching water who dropped their pots in shock. Inside the calabash was a baby girl, wrapped in soft palm leaves, her eyes wide open, watching the world with a gaze too ancient for someone not yet wake. She did not cry. She only hummed. When the calabash bumped gently into the fishing canoe of Mama Uduak, a widow with no children and a heart filled with silence, the old woman blinked twice. And then she whispered, "You've come back to me." The village buzzed. They called her Agbanj, spirit child. Some called her Muo, a water spirit in human skin. But Mama Uduak took the baby in, wrapped her in warm cloth, and fed her goat's milk with a carved horn. When the village elders asked for her name, the widow said only one word: Nnake. It meant, "I have found again." Nobody dared ask what she had lost before. Nnake grew quickly. Too quickly. By the time she was 5, she could speak in full proverbs. She sang old river songs no one had taught her. When she laughed, the fish leapt in the stream. When she cried, frogs stopped croaking. Children followed her. Birds perched on her shoulders. Even the wind paused to listen. But the old ones in the village frowned. "She is not of here," they murmured. "She is not right." It began with the rains. In Harmattan, when the air should be dry and dust thick on lips, it rained. And not just a drizzle, a downpour. Fields flooded. Yams rotted. Roofs sagged. People said, "The gods are angry." Then came the river animals, catfish with too many eyes, turtles that spoke in riddles. At night, strange music floated from the riverbanks, melodies that echoed under the skin, stirring old fears. And through it all, Nnake smiled like she knew something nobody else did. The village Dibia, Ojimbo, came to Mama Uduak's compound. He stared long at the girl, who stared back, unblinking. "She is not yours," he said. "She is mine now," the old woman replied. Ojimbo shook his head. "She belongs to the water. And the water has a memory." "What do you mean?" He looked toward the river. "One day, the river will remember who she is. And it will come for her." On the night of Nnake's 12th birthday, the river rose higher than it had in 50 years. People woke to find their compounds flooded. Crops drowned. Fish flopped in courtyards. And in the middle of it all, barefoot and smiling, stood Nnake, water swirling around her ankles like a cloud. That night, Mama Uduak woke to find her foster daughter at the riverbank, her hands raised, singing in a language no human spoke. The water responded. It rose. It danced. It shivered. And in its ripples, the face of a woman appeared, ageless, regal, eyes like polished stone. "My daughter," the river said. "You have stayed long enough. Come home." But Nnake shook her head. "Not yet. Not until I remember." The face dissolved. The boy with the broken voice. In the neighboring village of Ogboko, lived a boy named Ikin who had not spoken since his twin brother drowned in the same river 5 years ago. One day, as he fetched firewood, he saw Nnake sitting on a rock, humming. He froze. Her song was the very one his brother used to sing. He stepped forward, and for the first time in years, spoke. "Who are you?" She turned and smiled. "I don't know yet." From that day, they met in secret. He taught her riddles. She taught him river songs. They grew close, like the wind and the water, bound but never tangled. But love, even innocent, does not go unnoticed. A new face arrived in Umeus, High Priest Omodi, servant of the great river mother. His robes shimmered with wet scales, and his eyes never blinked. He came with only one message. The river wants her daughter back. Villagers gathered. Torches burned. Fear spread. She is not a child, he warned. She is a vessel. A seal. If she remains, the floodgates will open. The ancient ones will rise. Mama Uduak held Nnake close. She is my child. But even Nnake began to shiver one night. Under a crimson moon, Nnake walked alone to the river. She dipped her fingers into the water, and 1,000 images swirled in the surface. She saw herself in a palace of coral and bone. She saw rivers bowing to her. She saw herself sealing away ancient river gods with a lullaby only she could sing. She was not just born of water. She was made to bind what the world could not hold. The river mother's voice returned. The seal is cracking. You must return, or the drowned ones will rise. When dawn broke, the river surged into the village like a serpent released. It swallowed goats, tore down trees, cracked houses like palm nuts. From the depths rose the drowned ones, twisted spirits with bloated skin, faces like masks, and hands that dragged like anchors. People screamed. Ikin ran to find Nnake, who stood calm in the middle of the water, the flood circling around her like it obeyed. Don't, he begged. They'll take you. She touched his cheek. I have to go. If I stay, the world breaks. But I'll forget you. She kissed his forehead. Then I'll be your favorite dream. The river's daughter returns. With a final song, Nnake sang the river back into itself. The drowned ones dissolved into mist. The water receded. And with it, so did she. Ikin stood alone, holding the stone necklace she left behind. She was gone. 10 years later, Ikin grew into a healer. He taught river chants to children, healed the sick with herbs Nnake had once shown him. People called him the boy who talks to the river. Sometimes, on still nights, he would go to the edge of the Oji River and drop a single flower into the water. And once, just once, he swore he saw her face ripple across the surface, smiling.